This is the preview of the app we'll be building today. So we should be able to connect a wallet and also perform transactions on that particular wallet. And we're going to do this from the scratch. So let's dive in, and then first of all, let's present the app on how it basically works right now. So that's just that. And then when I did this test, I think I already even connected my wallet. So what we want to do right now is that I want to go ahead and disconnect this particular wallet right now. And to do that, let's disconnect these from here. And it has been disconnected, right? So we can go ahead and then connect the wallet back. So I want to hit on connect, and then we'll go ahead. I basically want to use this particular wallet right here, which is actually called a MyTon wallet, and that's just basically where I have some money right now, right? So let's tap on that, and then it's going to take us to MyTon wallet, and we can go ahead and then go through the connection right here. All right, so on this interface, you just basically need to go ahead and then hit on where it says connect down here. So I want to hit on connect, and the next one is also to hit on this particular one that says connect, and that's just basically going to go through the connection. All right, so that has been connected, and you should just basically redirect you back to your app. And what you basically want to do after you have connected is to perform your ton transaction. And before I do perform this ton transaction, I want to show you my wallet first of all, and that is a slow network right now, but let's just see, guys. So if we go to, I do not actually have a ton keeper on my phone. That's why I'm actually showing you my wallet on the desktop right here. So I do just have the extension only right here. So I just want to show you the wallet and then show you the amount that I have, because this is basically where we're going to actually send or receive the wallet or receive the money through, right? So right now we have this right here, and I think I've performed the one transaction today so far, or two transactions. So if I open this up, I just basically want you to see that, a take record of what is actually happening. So today we performed the two transactions so far. So if we perform the third one, it's going to be 3 right here. All right, yesterday I performed just 1. All right, so I want us to go back to our phone right here, which is on this particular interface, and what I want to do is to go ahead and then perform the turn transaction right here. And to do that, we just need to hit on where it says the send transaction right here on this particular line. So let's hit on that, and it's basically going to try to make sure that that transaction is done with the wallet you connected, which in this case is actually MyTon wallet. So let's see, it's going to redirect us to that particular interface. All right, so it takes us to MyTon wallet, and we can actually go ahead and then perform the transaction on this interface as shows up. All right, so on this interface, you see that we do have our wallet right here, which basically this particular wallet is coming from MyTon keeper. So if we want to prove that, basically I think I even have that in my coding environment right here. So if we go back to the index, you see that if we scroll down, we see that this is the wallet that has been connected through that particular place, right? I don't know if I've shown you guys this, but that is just the wallet that has been connected. And if you go back and check that, if you want to compare that right here, you can also do that. Even that on a testnet environment right here, if you go to where it says something like receive, or even, okay, right here, it's even here. So this is 0q, CJ, and TX right there. So it should be the same thing with what you are seeing on the screen right here. Okay, so this is just basically the wallet we're going to send that money to right now. And I'm going to basically send 0.02 tone, and the gas fee is actually 0.003 tone right there. Okay, so what you basically need to do is to go ahead and then hit on where it says send down here. You see where they have send where? So let's go ahead and hit on send. All right, so it's going to bring us to this interface, and what you basically need to do in here is to enter your PIN, whatever PIN that you're using with your app, right? So I'm going to enter my own right here. All right, so that transaction has gone through. I've actually entered my PIN, and it's just basically going to redirect if everything works just fine. All right, so that's going to just basically redirect if everything works just fine, and then you are going to have this message in here that the transaction will be processed shortly. All right, so that transaction has been completed, and that money must have been sent out right now. So let's confirm if we can actually find this in our tonKeeper. If you go back to our tonKeeper right here, and we do have 0.33 initially. We want to know whether if this is actually going to increase for wait for a while. However, if I go to the browser right here, I want to check the the history, not just the browser. And if the transaction comes in, this is going to actually change to 3 transactions, right? And if you take a look at that, that just came in right now, right? So look at it right here, it just came in right now. And what that means is that if we go back in here right now and hit on this wallet, you see that that amount has actually increased. So the transaction was actually successful. Not too long ago, I showed you guys how you can add a wallet connection to your Telegram mini app, and a good number of you liked it, and we successfully did that in the way that we were able to hit on a button, and then it pulls up the wallets that we have under that of the Tone ecosystem, and then we were able to select just one wallet, and then it gets connected successfully. But we did not actually go for that to maybe allow the customer or the user of mini app to be able to make tone transactions. So I want to show you guys how to do that in this video, right? And if you have actually watched the first video, I also advise you to stay and watch me do this one, because I'm actually even going to start afresh, and we're going to like go through connecting the wallet first of all, and after that we will go through being able to make the tone transaction. Okay, we're going to add those functionalities in this video. So even if you watch the first one, I think it's necessary for you to watch me also do this, because I'm going to do it differently from the first one that we did. And then for those of you who haven't actually watched the first one, you can actually get everything in this particular video. All right, so this is the app that we used in the other video, and basically I just changed up a few things, the design, and basically I'm not so much concerned with the design actually. But for now, this app that you're seeing on the screen, I want to show you that if you go to, I want to open up my phone. I mirrored my phone in here, so I want to basically show you guys how it looks like on that of the Telegram. All right, so this is just basically how the app looks on Telegram at the moment. All right, so that's just what that is. And we're going to build this first of all on the local device, which is our within this environment right here. And then after we build that, we can go ahead and upload that to our server so that people can actually view that through their Telegram. All right, so without wasting more time, what I want to do is at the top right here, I want to be able to add like 2 or 3 buttons right here. One is going to be to connect the wallet, and the other one is going to be to actually perform some transaction. So to do that, let's go back to our development environment, which is right here. All right, so I want to go ahead and add a few buttons up there. I think I should be able to add that maybe around this particular place, right? All right, so right after this welcome message that we have in here, let's go ahead. I'm going to just put something like let's go ahead and put comment in here and just say something like this is going to be connect, and I want to close the comment. And down here, let's actually create a button, and the first one is actually going to be, I'm going to just call this BTUM, and I want to give that an ID. Okay, so let's say that the ID for this is actually going to be something like let's call this something like tone, I mean a connect wallet. All right, send that to be equal to, and we can just call this to connect wallet, and we can just say something like BTN, which just stands for button right there. All right, and we can give that something like a class that we can actually use to style that up if we want to style that. So this is going to be connect that, and we can go ahead and then maybe we should just terminate this right here. Within this place, we can just say connect wallet, and we can go ahead and close that button right here. So this is going to be button that way, and that's just that on that. I'm going to just basically copy this right now and then paste that on the next line, and I want to change this right here. So instead of calling this something like a connect wallet BTN, we can just basically call this something like send transaction BTN, like that. Okay, and then the class we could just call this something like transacts. Okay, so this is going to be transact, and that's just basically what we are going to use to style that. And I want to change the word in here. Instead of saying something like connect wallet, we should just say something like send this is going to be transaction, and just like that. All right, so this is the 2 buttons we have so far. However, I've actually added some CSS to this in advance, so I want to show you the CSS right now. So if I go to my CSS and I want to show you that, so if you get to your CSS, I basically added these few lines of code for the styling of that particular 2 buttons that we just added, which is actually connect and transact, right? So you just basically want to go ahead and add this code right here, from here down to this particular place. If you want to add a container, you can add the code that we have down here to that. Okay, so just basically style your own however you want that to basically look. So I want to save the changes. I think it's already saved. And if we go back to where is the, okay, right here, this particular interface, I want to refresh, and you see that we do have 2 buttons right here, which is connect wallet, and then we'll have send transaction, which is the 2 things which is the 2 buttons that we're basically going to use, guys. All right, so next thing we want to do right now is that I just basically want to take you guys to the tone documentation, where we will be able to see how we can actually connect our wallet. And to do that, I want you to go to this particular URL right here, and this is going to just basically be opened up for you. However, before we continue this integration right now, so this is the tone connect for that of the JX, and we can actually go through this documentation that is actually on this page. First of all, we want to go ahead and enter the URL. Okay, we're going to basically have to enter the URL because we're going to basically use the CDN. This is the content delivery network. I don't want us to install the API local on our device right now. And if you want to actually install that, you can go to where we'll have something like npm right here, and then follow the instruction right here. So if you type npm I and then go ahead and say at tonConnect/UI, it's going to go ahead and then install the library for you. But I just basically want to go ahead and then use the content delivery network for this. Okay, so what I want to do is to just go ahead and copy this link right here, And then if I go back to my development environment, I want to go to the head region of my web application. And I basically want to be sure that I add that just within the head tag right here, between this place. I want to be sure I add it somewhere around this place. So let me go ahead and add mine here. So this is the line I just added right here. Okay, so to connect to that particular library online. So you just want to go ahead and then make sure you add that to your own if you are going to be using the content delivery network, and we'll have that right now. So if we go back to that development environment, we can actually go through the things that we have in here to be able to carry out this integration. The first thing I want to do right here is I want to copy this right here, which is actually provided by Tone Network. If you want to have like but what this is actually going to do is that it's going to help us be able to, we can hit on it to connect our wallets, just like we have actually created with this particular one right here. This is just the purpose of that particular button, but at the same time it provides us an ability to be able to display an already connected wallet. So that's the reason why I want to make use of that particular button right here. Okay, so I want to copy that button right here, which is this particular thing, and you are going to actually understand what I mean when we kind of test that. So if I go back to my development environment and I want to go to the index, all right, so we can actually go ahead and paste it maybe as the first line right here. So let me paste that in here. So I have that already pasted on this page. All right, so the next thing I want to do right now, after we have added that button right there, and if we go back, because the way that it is right now, I think if you refresh, you are not actually going to see anything yet. So if we refresh, you see that we can't find that particular button on this page. But for you to be able to see that button, it's really very simple. We want to start writing our JS code maybe down here, and I want to do that. I want to just put my script tags right here. So it's going to be script, and we can close the script tag right down here. And within this particular place, the first thing I think we want to do right now is to initialize our tonConnectUI. Okay, because we're basically going to use tonConnectUI to be able to do whatever we want to do right here. Because if you scroll down, maybe if you even take a look up here, you see that we're actually connected to the tonConnectUI, right? If we're actually connected to the tonUI, the way that it is the minified file, we can actually go ahead and then write some lines of code. First of all, we want to initialize that particular library right here. Okay, so if you want to initialize this library, the code that you can actually use to do that is really very simple. We can use this particular code that we have in here. So I want to copy this code, and then if we go back to our development environment, we want to go ahead and then maybe stick that right here. So let's say something like initialize tone UI. All right, so I want to paste that code in here. So we are basically creating a variable right here that we call the tone connect UI right here, and then we're setting that to this new object right here. All right, so however, so we're going to basically need what is actually called a manifest file. Okay, we need to create this file within our development environment, this particular file, and then we're going to have to like link to our domain within that particular file, which I think I've actually already done this. But to interpret this, you just basically want to make sure that you transform this URL into your own URL. All right, so if you want to do that, it's really very simple. If I go to that particular website, let's say this is going to be family, and basically this particular URL, that's just where I want to go, right? Because I do have what I'm building right now hosted on this particular URL that we have in here. So it's just this folder that I have on this particular domain right here. So what you want to do is just copy this. You want to make sure you copy this, and then if you go back to your development environment, you want to make sure that you stick that right here. Okay, so I want to stick that right here. So what this means, let's take away that one extra /. It means that you want your manifest URL to go to this particular domain, which is family3.ng, and then after that it goes to a folder called Megari right here, and then after that it's going to connect to a file that maybe you haven't actually created, but I'm going to show you that file so that you can actually format your own to look just the same. Okay, so this is the file name. This particular thing is actually called a tonConnect-manifest.json. So look at it right here, and the code that is actually inside of it is really very simple. Look at it, you just need to copy and paste this code in that particular file. If you create this file, tonConnect-manifest.json, you want to go ahead and put this file inside of it. What are you going to do if you do that? The name of your application, I'm calling this one Megari. So you can call your own whatever you want to call it. If it is actually something like CodeKinder, let's say this is going to be CodeKinder, you can go ahead and then make use of CodeKinder within this particular place. All right, and now in here is the URL that I just showed you right now, right? You want to copy that. If your own is not found in the folder, you can just enter your domain name and then stop right there. All right. So, but my own is actually I hosted this on a subfolder because I'm just still testing the application out, and then I'm not going to use this domain if I want to like host this and make sure that this goes live. And that's why I'm actually using the folder. So I created the folder and then put the files inside of that. All right. Then for this URL right here, this is just basically going to be the logo. As people try to connect to your mini app, you want to like display the logo of your application to them. Okay. So which is basically the same URL and then the URL to that of the logo that you want to use, right? So that is just that. I think you don't need too much explanation for this for this at this particular moment. So that's just what that is, guys. So if we go back in here and then we save the changes, make sure you have this, guys. Make sure you have this particular thing. Make sure you have it. And then if we go back to our development, our browser right here, and then refresh, let's see what is going to happen. So I expect to maybe see the the UI right here to actually show up. Okay, but it's for some reason it's not actually showing up, so we need to find out why that is that. So if we go back to this interface right here, I think that everything that we need on this page is really okay. And then if we check here, we haven't actually saved the changes in here. Let's make sure that we save the changes in our header. And then if we go back in here, I want to refresh again, and we still haven't actually seen that particular button right here. Okay, sorry guys, so I'm just taking a look at the one that is actually hosted online. This is not actually what I'm supposed to do. I want to close this so that it will not be confusing me, and I basically want to show you the one that is actually offline. So this is the one I thought I was actually showing you guys. This is just basically what is going to show up on your own right now. All right, and then you have the power to go ahead and hit on the connect button right here, and then it can bring up this particular thing here, and then you can go ahead and then connect. Okay, so with that just few lines of code, you see that you are able to bring up the tonConnectUI within your system. So with this line, we've initialized our files. All right, now the next thing we want to do is to now go ahead and be able to do a couple other things to be able to like maybe now allow it to perfectly connect. And if it connects to a wallet, want to go ahead and then do a couple of other things, which is really going to be very simple, guys. So let's head on to that right now. All right, so basically we have actually achieved this right now. We can hit on this connect button to connect our wallet, but if we hit on this one that we created by ourselves, we are going to see that nothing is actually going to be happening. Okay, so I'm clicking on that and nothing is actually happening, and that takes me back to your what is it called, your documentation right here. So if you take a look at this very well, you see that the button that we created earlier before now, this particular button, which I want to show you that right now. If we scroll to the tab, you see that we do have a button that we kind of copied and pasted, creating this particular line right here. You see that what it does is that it actually allows you to be able to, once you hit on the connect button right here, which is actually shown on this particular interface, it handles a clicks. Okay, that's why we're able to have this, and then we can hit on maybe you want to connect to something like tonKeeper. If I hit in here, you see that it tries to bring up that. So if I hit on, I do have the extension on this particular system. So if I hit on browser extension, you see that it tries to open up the tonKeeper right here, right? So it brings that up. So we can go ahead and hit on connect for it to connect, right? And here is the logo that we just added that I showed on the manifest file right here. Look at my logo in here. All right, so I want to cancel this, and it says connection declined, and then we can close this out, and then we're back to this particular interface. Actually, you can actually connect right now. You can connect and then disconnect, guys. So in fact, let's do that right now, rather than writing any further lines of a code. So if I hit on connect, you notice that that wallet has been connected. You see that it displays that particular wallet in here. You see, you can also connect and disconnect right here, just with those few lines of code that we have actually created, right? So I want to hit on disconnect for now, and that just that. So I want to be able to do the same thing to this particular one right here. So I want us to be able to, when I hit on this connect wallet, we can programmatically make it in such a way that it should be able to bring up what we just saw right now. Okay, remember when we hit on this connect wallet, it brought this up, and then we were able to hit connect, and then we went through all of these things, right? I want to be able to do that with this particular button. And the reason that I want to do that is because if you hit on this connect wallet right here, and then you try to connect, you go through the connection right here, and then we connect. You see that we were able to use this interface to be able to display the already connected wallet, right? So this have actually served that particular purpose. But I want it in such a way that we should be able to use this one to like maybe only work on being able to add wallet or not, or something like that, so that in the future, once the wallet is being connected right here, we can hide this particular button. Even though I did not actually do that in this video, but I'm just trying to make sure that we have such functionality available within our development environment right now. Okay, so let's go back to our development environment, And before we do that, if you take a look in here, if you scroll down a little bit, you see that we have the power to do that. So they say, but you can open connect modal programmatically. And the example is after you click on the custom button. So that's just basically what I want to do. All right. So we can use this code right here to be able to do that. Even though I'm not going to like copy and paste this code to use that just the way that it is, but you can go ahead and then use that as a guide. All right. So let's go back to our development environment and let's try to scroll down to the JavaScript section, which is down here, and then we can continue working on whatever we want to do right here. So I want everything that is actually going to happen within this wallet connection to be wrapped in something like an event listener. Okay, and I want to do that right here. So let's wrap that right here. So to wrap these two, something like a add event listener in here, we can do document dot add event listener, and then we're going to throw in this right there, and then within this place we're going to just do DOM content. So this is going to be content loaded. So what that means is that once the content is loaded, then I want the code that we have within that particular block of code to begin to run, and I want to be sure that we'll pass this through something like an async function. So this is going to be async, and we're going to just do function, and we just have that right there. And then we can actually go ahead within this place. Let's throw in our curly brackets here, and we can actually go ahead and then terminate this particular line first of all. And what I want to do right now is really going to be very simple. I just basically want to go ahead and let's first of all make sure we terminate this right, and then we can actually cut this particular line in here and then bring that down here. Okay, so that becomes the last line that we have in here. So you see that this now wraps around everything that we have on this page, right? So if we hit on this, you see that this is actually closed right here. All right, so now that we have added an event listener right here, I want to create a check down here just for development purposes. We can actually take this away anytime we want. And let me just put a comment here and just say something like check if wallet is already connected. All right, to do that, we want to use an if statement down there. But before I actually do that, let me just this is basically going to be, I'm going to run an if statement here, but before that if statement, I want to add a top right here. Let me create a variable that I'm going to use to actually fetch all the wallets that are actually connected or available for connection right here. And to do that, I want to put that in a variable that I'm just basically going to call connected, maybe something like connected a wallet, and we can go ahead and set that to be equal to, we're going to use await right here. I will just say await, and this is going to be basically, we're going to make use of this particular variable in here, I mean an object right here, and we're going to paste that in here, and then we're going to do dot get wallets, and this is just basically an object that is present in this particular place. Okay, this new object right here, it's actually present in here, and we can actually get that with this particular line and save it into this variable that we have in here, which is actually called a connected wallet, right? Okay, so we can terminate this line, and now we can begin to make use of the if statement that we have actually created in here. And to do that, I want to copy this variable in here, and I put that within this particular place. Sorry about that. All right, so I think it's still okay that way. Let me just paste that, which I copied into the clipboard, and then within this particular block of code in here, I want to go ahead and then perform the check. So up here, I want to create a variable that I'm going to just basically call which is going to be let is wallet connected, and initially I want to just set that to false, and but if anytime I'm able to find the wallet be connected already, I want to go ahead and turn that to true down here. And what that means is that if I copy this and I get back to this block of code in here, paste that in, and the first thing I basically want to do in here is just go ahead and set that to true. Okay, so this is going to be true, set that to true. So if we checked and we're able to find something, and that which we have actually found is really within this particular variable called the connected wallet. So with that, down here we can just, if we succeed in getting that wallet, we can do a console.log, and this is just basically for development purposes, guys, so you don't even have to do this. All right, so I'm going to just do console.log, and then I want to pass a message in here. So let's say something like wallet is already, let's say, connected. All right, and that is just that on that particular line. And then we can maybe go ahead and then down here we can go ahead and then pass this particular variable, which is actually called wallet connected, and that's just basically going to like display all the wallets that are actually connected to this particular app in here. All right, so that's just basically what I want to do on that line. If we save the changes and maybe let's say we want to test, okay, we're already connected, and if we refresh this, I want to make sure that I refresh the page, and I want to open up my console. You see that we get wallet is already connected, and that's just because we are really already connected right here. All right, so that's just that. So the next thing I want to do, I think I want to like basically speed the development up. I don't want this to like take so much time, so I'm going to copy and paste a few lines of a code right now, and then we can actually go through that. All right, guys. So I do have something copied to the clipboard, which I'm actually going to paste and then go through it in no distance time. So what I want us to do right now is that if we go back to this interface, you see that we do have a button right here, which is just a custom button that we have just created, which we can programmatically make it be able to bring up the connection of our wallet interface, right? So that's just the particular button I want to deal with right now. And for that, I'm going to just go ahead and paste the code in here. And the code they kind of began from here. So connected, of course, we need to like perform a check first of all to be sure that if the wallet is really connected or not, which is just basically the same thing with what we did up here, right? So that's just that. And if the wallet is actually connected, we can return the wallet itself down here. And after that, if it is not actually connected, we can try to connect the wallet down here. And that's just basically what we're doing in here. All right, so we're trying to connect the wallet in here. And if we have any errors trying to connect the wallet, we can go ahead and then print the error down here. All right, so if we save the changes in here and then we go back in here, of course, if we begin to click on this right here, we wouldn't actually see anything even in the console. So if I check the console and we keep clicking on these, we basically will not be able to see anything. And that is because the function that we have just really created right now, we need to connect that to that particular button right here. Okay, so you see this particular function that we have actually created to be able to connect the wallet. We want to make sure that we connect that to that particular button that we just clicked on. And to do that, let me just get the line. All right, so to connect that to that particular button, I want to go ahead and add an event listener down here. So this is just the button for an event listener, and we are really connected. We are running this particular function called a connect wallet in here. Once someone kind of makes a click on that particular button, okay, so they just document get element by ID, and you know when we created this particular ID. So if I scroll to tab, we are going to see where we are working on the ID right here. So this particular button right here. So anytime someone clicks on this, we'll go ahead and then run that particular function down there. All right, so that's just what that is basically going to do for us within that particular place. All right, so if we save the changes, and we can actually, I think if we take a look in this very well, we're going to see that we're basically going to need to like connect to this particular method in here, which is actually coming from the library itself, and we want to make that globally available. So let's do that up here. So this is going to be let. I want to paste that, and initially I want to set that to null. So this is going to be set to null, and then we can terminate that particular line. So right now let's save the changes, guys, and then if we go back in here and I want to refresh this page, and I think everything, if we hit in here, we get wallet already connected. That's just because the wallet is still basically connected right here. So that works just fine. The next thing I want us to do is to work on the transaction, right? So let's go back in here and I want to work on the transaction. Remember that we do also have a button down here, which is right here for the transaction to be able to send transaction. We want to be sure that once we create the function for that, we want to make sure that we run that through this particular ID right here. So we're going to do a similar thing that we have just actually done right now. And to do that, let me just get the code just to speed things off a little bit more. All right, so I've actually gotten that code right here for transaction of our tone in here. And I want to basically put that in this section of the code in here, and let's paste that in here. And basically after we paste that, we want to go through that, right? So let's paste this right here, create enough space, and then paste that in here. And then you see that the transaction it kind of began from here, right? So send transaction, and I'm creating an asynchronous function in here, which I'm just basically calling a send tone transaction in here. And then we're going to make use of the variable that we have up there, which is connected if the wallet is connected. If the wallet isn't actually connected right here, it's going to send a message telling us that we should connect our wallet first before we can actually run transaction. Okay, so we're making that check to be sure that it's actually in place. All right, and down here we are just basically making a wait transaction in here, and then we'll have this array in here of messages. All right, and then we're basically going to need the address that we want people to be able to like send money to if we want to. All right, so that's just basically what that, and this is just basically my wallet address, so you need to enter your own in here. Then after that, we are just basically setting the amount right here. So as you can see, we do have as you can see right here, we do have like a 20 million that we entered right here. This doesn't actually mean that we're going to actually send 20 million worth of a tone, but this has to be converted. Okay, so this is going to be something like a 0.02 worth of a tune. So the amount that I have actually specified right here is in nanotons. Okay, this is in nanoton. So you basically want to play around with your own to be able to get the real address that you want. Okay, so you can basically even do, maybe if you add something like 0.02 multiplied by a nano kind of amount. Okay, so I think you should know how to do the math. All right, you can use Google to find out how you can do the math, but this is just basically going to be 0.02 ton. Okay, that's why I have that commented in here. All right, so we have that in place, and after that we are going to just use something like a try and catch right here. So if we are able to like successfully make the transaction, we can console log successful transaction right here, wherever whereas you can actually, if you want to redirect to a success page, you can put that right there, redirect to your success page, and if you have any errors, you can redirect to your error page right here. So it's as simple as that. Now one more thing that we need to do, because if we save the changes right here, and then even though the wallet is really connected, if we refresh this page, and then we'll try to maybe make connect transaction by hitting on this particular line, see that nothing is actually going to be happening. All right, so I'm clicking on that, but it's not actually happening. Nothing is actually happening with that particular line. What you need to do is to make sure that you connect that particular function to this particular button right here, and we want to do that right now. All right, so to do that, if we get back in here and down here, we want to go ahead and make sure that you enter this particular line. So this is document.getElement by ID and send transaction, which is the button that is actually present on this page. I've actually shown you that, and then we'll add an event listener. Once people make a click on that, we want to go ahead and so we want to make sure that we're able to run this particular function. So once someone clicks on this button right here called a send transaction, we want to go ahead and then run this particular function right here, which is the function that we just created up here. Look at the function in here. So we want to run everything that is in this block of code. All right, so let me save the changes. And then if we go back to our development environment, and then I want to refresh this page right here. All right, so our wallet is actually connected. We can hit on send transaction, and you see that the transaction begins, right? So it opens on a new tab, and I just went back to the interface of where we normally where we clicked on the send transaction. You see that you see where it says confirm the transaction in your tonKeeper, and that is because it is tonKeeper that we have actually connected to. All right, so we can go back to tonKeeper, and then it's going to bring up the transaction confirmation dialog box for us to go ahead and then confirm that transaction. All right, so I do not actually have enough money right now, so that's why it's saying insufficient. So we can cancel this out and then add money to this before we can actually try this, right? So that is just that, guys. So I want to cancel that, and if you cancel it and go back, you see where it says transaction cancelled. There will be no charges to your wallets or whatsoever. All right, so this is just typically a message of someone who had actually declined a transaction. All right, so you can log this, and maybe you find a way to tell the user that they just canceled the transaction. So see where they say user rejects the action in the wallet, right? That's just that, guys. And what I want to do right now is that I do not actually have enough money to send through this particular interface right now. I think I do have some money in my testnet account right here. Remember that I'm actually connected to my testnet account, and if you don't know how to create testnet account, I do have a video on how to do that, and then even how to get some ton for free transactions, right? So if you go to receive right here, I think I'm trying to find. All right, so first of all, let's re-upload this to the internet first of all. So let me bring in the index into this page. All right, so let's hit on select file, and let's go to Megari, and I want to upload the index first of all. All right, let's hit on yes, and that's just basically going to upload the index. And the next one we basically want to upload is going to be on the header.php file, and let's open that up. All right, so we can hit on upload and then get the header.php. Let's open this up and get the header.php. Let's hit on yes, and that has been uploaded, and even the index has also been uploaded. All right, and I want to like provide a tip in here. If you go to the header.php, if for some reason anyway, if I go back to the app right here, let's say we'll go back to the mirrored phone right here, we'll have a mirrored phone in here. So let me go back and I open up our app. So this is code load. Open that up. All right, so it loads just fine, but if for some reasons you see that there are some colors that are actually not showing up on this particular interface, what you need to do is, if you go back to index, your header, you can scroll down to the section where we'll have your CSS right here. So you can add a version, all right? So you can do a question mark V, then add a version, okay? It's just to change from the previous version. So if it was actually maybe 1.0 before, you can change that to something like 2.0, all right? So the previous one I uploaded was 7.0, so I have to change that to 8.0 just to make sure that it's able to like change on this particular interface, okay, where you mirrored your where you have that loaded on your Telegram app, right? So that's just that. And then when I did this test, I think I already even connected my wallet. So what we want to do right now is that I want to go ahead and disconnect this particular wallet right now. And to do that, let's disconnect these from here, and it has been disconnected, right? So we can go ahead and then connect the wallet back. So I want to hit on connect, and then we'll go ahead. I basically want to use this particular wallet right here, which is actually called a MyTon wallet, and that's just basically where I have some money right now, right? So let's tap on that, and then it's going to take us to MyTon wallet, and we can go ahead and then go through the connection right here. All right, so on this interface, you just basically need to go ahead and hit on where it says connect down here. So I want to hit on connect, and the next one is also to hit on this particular one that says connect, and that's just basically going to go through the connection. All right, so I think that has just been connected. All right, so that has been connected, and you should just basically redirect you back to your app. And what you basically want to do after you have connected is to perform your ton transaction. And before I do perform this ton transaction, I want to show you my wallet first of all, and that is a slow network right now, but let's just see, guys. So if we go to, I do not actually have a tonkeeper on my phone, that's why I'm actually showing you my wallet on the desktop right here. So I do just have the extension only right here. So I just want to show you the wallet and then show you the amount that I have, because this is basically where we're going to actually send or receive the wallet or receive the money through, right? So right now we have this right here, and I think I've performed the one transaction today so far, or two transactions. So if I open this up, I just basically want you to see that, a take record of what is actually happening. So today we performed the two transactions so far. So if we perform the third one, it's going to be 3 right here. All right, yesterday I performed just 1. All right, so I want us to go back to our phone right here, which is on this particular interface. And what I want to do is to go ahead and then perform the turn transaction right here. And to do that, we just need to hit on where it says the send transaction right here on this particular line. So let's hit on that. And it's basically going to try to make sure that that transaction is done with the wallet you connected, which in this case is actually MyTon wallet. So let's see, it's going to redirect us to that particular interface. All right, so on this interface, you see that we do have our wallet right here, which basically this particular wallet is coming from MyTon Keeper. So if we want to prove that, basically I think I even have that in my coding environment right here. So if we go back to the index, you see that if we scroll down, we see that this is the wallet that has been connected through that particular place, right? I don't know if I've shown you guys this, but that is just the wallet that has been connected. And if you go back and check that, if you want to compare that right here, you can also do that. Even that on a testnet environment right here, if you go to where it says something like receive, or even, okay, right here, it's even here. So this is 0QCJ and TX right there. So it should be the same thing with what you are seeing on the screen right here. Okay, so this is just basically the wallet we're going to send that money to right now, and we're going to basically send 0.02 tone, and the gas fee is actually 0.003 tone right there. Okay, so what you basically need to do is to go ahead and then hit on where it says send down here. You see where they have send where? So let's go ahead and hit on send. All right, so it's going to bring us to this interface, and what you basically need to do in here is to enter your pin, whatever pin that you're using with your app, right? So I'm going to enter my own right here. All right, so that transaction has gone through. I've actually entered my pin, and it's just basically going to redirect if everything works just fine. All right, so that's going to just basically redirect if everything works just fine, and then you are going to have this message in here that the transaction will be processed shortly. All right, so that transaction has been completed, and that money must have been sent out right now. So let's confirm if we can actually find this in our tonkeeper. If we go back to our tonkeeper right here, and we do have 0.33 initially, we want to know whether if this is actually going to increase if we wait for a while. However, if I go to the browser right here, I want to check the the history, not just the browser. And if the transaction comes in, this is going to actually change to 3 transactions, right? And if you take a look at that, that just came in right now, right? So look at it right here, it just came in right now. And what that means is that if we go back in here right now, and hit on this wallet, you see that that amount has actually increased. So the transaction was actually successful. So that's just it, guys. So, and I hope that you guys kind of understand the video. So one thing that I'm actually skeptical about this app that we have just built is this particular button called the Connect Wallet down here. Sometimes it gives some issues in the sense that it doesn't actually, it feels like once you click on it, it says something like wallet is already connected even when you have disconnected this wallet. So if you're having that kind of issue, you can completely remove this particular button right here and then make use of only this particular one that is up here, since this is actually serving all the purpose that we want. Okay, so you remove this particular line and then you can go back to the code and then remove the code that it kind of helps us to be able to trigger the function that actually make people connect wallet through this particular button right here, since this particular one is actually serving the purpose. All right, so, and I hope you guys like the video, and if you actually subscribe to the channel, that means I will see you in the next one. And for those that are not subscribed, maybe we'll see you next time, and then if we don't, that's still fine. Bye bye for now. Thanks for watching.